Messi. Oh my goodness. Just when you think he's done everything, he comes up with something even more special. Nani.
And then Ronaldo!
What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. The boys are back in town. Soccer Card Collective, episode number 20. Welcome back, fellas. First of all, I'm going to say, how are you both doing today?
Doing great, man. Good to be back. I miss you boys.
Awesome. Doing great.
There he is. James is in the comments. Good evening, James. The boys are back. We thought we'd get in here. There's been a lot that's happened, obviously, in the soccer world over the little break that we've had here on the show. A lot of action in Champions League. A bit of new product has been released, of course. There's also Europa League, and then the Premier League is really firing up for that title. It's getting really, really close. There's been a little bit of controversy as well. So we might dive into that. But without further ado, ladies and gents, I will take us into our first topic of the evening. And that is, boys, we've seen, obviously, Ronaldo, Messi, both bundled out of the Champions League. PSG went there. Messi went there, to PSG. We thought he was creating that super team. Everyone got hyped and was like, they're winning the Champions League. And I mean, we vividly remember on this show, we said, we've seen this before. We've seen it with the Galacticos. It doesn't just quite work out like that. You can't just, spend all the money and then, win the Champions League. It's just not football. It's not how it works. So Ronaldo and Messi, are they a blessing or are they a burden? Who wants to take us away?
Dan, you go first.
You want me to go first? All right. So, look, the Champions League is the most premier competition in world football at the moment. I believe in the last 4 Champions League appearances, both Messi and Ronaldo have gone out in early stages, right? Early stages. That's not debatable. So, and that's with Juventus having a significant amount of time with Ronaldo, and obviously Messi having a significant time with Barcelona, even though there's a short period of time with PSG. So it's big to question whether in the back end of their careers, can players like this be the difference makers to step them up to the next level? Obviously, when they're younger, maybe centering your whole team around these types of players is the right way to go, because they have the ability to change games over a consistent period of time. Whereas at the moment, they may do it more in flashes, even though those flashes are absolutely brilliant, as we saw with Ronaldo's 3 goals recently, right? But as a Juventus fan, and you tend to become overly reliant on those goals when you revolve your team around these types of players. And when they do not show up, because they don't show up sometimes, absolutely don't. At the end of the day, what can we expect of people in their late 30s? Then the team doesn't know what to do, and they spend the majority of the game trying to figure it out. And by that time, it's too late. So I do think that there is a place for. Obviously, there's a place in world football for these players, but you cannot center your team around them. You have to get them to play a particular role. And is Ronaldo the type of player to take that on and accept a particular role? I'm not too sure. So speaking as a Juventus fan, I think that we've been able to progress greatly. Without Ronaldo, we've been able to go out and pick up a pretty good 21-year-old striker, which I don't think would have been there if it wasn't for Ronaldo leaving. And we're on the cards to pick up a lot more because we haven't got his wages on the book. So to answer the question, is it a curse? I think it is a curse, in all honesty. As much as it doesn't sound like that is necessarily the case, because you see them do brilliant stuff on a semi-regular basis for the good of the team and for their progression. At the end of the day, my opinion is that they're a curse.
Yeah, if you see the teams they got kicked out against, like Ajax, Benfica, what was it? In the case of Messi, it's different. Well, Liverpool and stuff like that, but still they get kicked out early stages. It's not like they go to the finals and then get kicked out. I think, as you said, these players are made to perform on the bigger stages, like the Champions League. But I don't know. I think that the key word for me is heart and soul of a team. If you go back years and years, like that Manchester team, they would die for each other. Right now, with this PSG team, for example, you have these great players, but don't tell me they're gonna go all out and die for this PSG team. They just come back next year. They know they're gonna win the title. They know they have a shot for the Champions League next season, and let's see what happens. And I think heart and soul is what is missing in these teams, even with a Messi, even with a Ronaldo in it. They might love the team, but they're not gonna. There's not 11 Ronaldos. If you have 11 Ronaldos on all of the different positions, maybe you have that team that wants to fight and die for it. But I don't see it. Like these are all young players. Sancho is barely shining for this Manchester United team. Then you have Elanga, who's young and exciting, but has no experience. So they're surrounded by people who are not willing to go the same lengths, I think, as they can. And if you involve your whole team around one player and he doesn't come back, it doesn't defend, or look at Messi. He's not defending. He's not gonna run up and down 90 minutes like other players do. And if that's that one player that is missing, like, then put someone mediocre there, but that is willing to do those lengths. He might not make insane goals, but you have that one extra player that might provide you with some more defense when it's needed. So I think it's more of a curse right now. But yeah, you can never count them out. That's the beauty of it. Like, they only need like 1 second, 1 minute of brilliance, and they can change the whole game. But if you're relying on that 1 second and it's not coming, as Dan said, then everyone starts to panic. Then they have no way out. Then they try to figure out the opposition team for like 90 minutes, and they try to score that one goal in extra time. It's not going to work. So I think right now it's
in
more
Messi's case, he
more
didn't even
curse.
get 1 minute because he's still on the bus, mate. They still haven't found him. He's still missing. They last seen him jumping on the bus to the Santiago Bernabéu stadium.
Yeah.
He never got off the bus, mate. In that game, I watched it. He was very passive. He had moments, and there was a moment there where he got a free kick late in the game, and if this was Messi in his prime, you'd go, "Hang on, this this is the moment, right?" Messi now, he got that free kick. He stood over it. Obviously, put Neymar away. He said, "You're not having it. I'm having it." Mm-hmm. And it went straight over the bar. And, as soon as he stepped over, I was like, it's the situation where obviously Ronaldo in his earlier days was really, really good at free kick. And then just to his latter part of his career, just got really average, really, really average. And I think Messi's, much the same in that respect to free kicks. And obviously they're still phenomenal players. But yeah, I have to agree with you both. They are a bit of a burden. And I think that's part of the fact that they're, unwilling to take a certain role in the team and sort of adapt to be able to allow other players to shine more than them in a sense. But as you said, they don't run back. I mean, you see Ronaldo, he's pretty passive at times. He does run back on occasion, but
sometimes,
it's it's not that 90-minute effort that you would get, for instance, if you got like Conte playing his system when he was at Chelsea, and just every guy would just get back, and you could see how the team really worked together as a team defense, and obviously allowed you guys to win the title that season, have a phenomenal season. So it throws the team out, especially when you're trying to play that team defense. All right, fellas.
Just one sec, but before you move on, man, I wouldn't mind to Vincent's point about mentality. Do you think that mentality is lacking in Ronaldo and Messi as well? I know that Ronaldo went back to the club that kind of started it all, and he's got a lot of passion there. But we've seen him when he's not selected for sides, kind of go missing, going to get a bit of a rub up somewhere, while his team is getting the loss. Like, is that the type of thing you want to see from these types of players? Are they mentally in it, or are they collecting a paycheck?
It's funny because I was really thinking about it. Like, what is Ronaldo thinking right now after they just lost to was it
might not make Champions League next year as well.
Atletico. So they've been kicked out by Atletico. Ronaldo tried his best because he was whining and crying. He was falling all over the place to get some free kicks. So he was really trying. So I was really thinking, like, what is he thinking right now? Did I make a mistake? Is it me? Is my team shit? Is my team shit? I mean, what was he thinking? So it's a really good question. But you cannot win a game alone. I mean, we've seen that now.
One thing I can say is we've seen a regression in Marcus Rashford from what he produced last season, and obviously now having to be second fiddle to Ronaldo, getting much less game time.
And we saw that with Dybala as well.
He comes on, and because he's so cold, because he hasn't played all season, regular minutes, his first touch is like, I mean, he was looking like Lukaku, was at United.
Yeah.
Some of his first touches when he came on, and this is the guy you're bringing on to make an impact. And it was like, I understand he is an impactful player at times, but this season, obviously playing that second fiddle, and as you said, other players are affected. Dybala was one, Dan, you mentioned. So yeah, it really does say, blessing or a burden. Messi or Ronaldo at this stage of their career, you got to say they're a burden. I mean, their teams, obviously PSG is going to win the title in the French league, but put my cousins under 12 side out there, they'll probably win it as well in that league. But it's Champions League is what they're chasing. They've been chasing it since PSG got big money. That's what they've wanted to win. They went out and got Cavani, Zlatan Ibrahimovic when they first started off that team with all the money that went in originally. And they still haven't been able to do it, and they've had, brilliant teams since that point, and they still haven't, won one. So you can't buy a Champions League. We know that for sure. And they are a burden. All right, boys. Recent releases in soccer. We've seen the most recent. We're not going to really go back too far, but sort of focus on the Immaculate and obviously the most recent Prism release. Not sure if Dan, I know you've probably seen a little bit of it, obviously with your breaking page, Carnival Breaks. Go check it out, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't, on Facebook. And what are your thoughts, mate? What are your thoughts initially?
So Immaculate was what Immaculate is, which is quite good. It's one of those ones where you're paying a pretty crazy price for it, but there's obviously the opportunity in there. There's the opportunity of Maradonas, but you can get left with your heart broken quite aggressively.
That's every box you open, mate.
That's every box. But obviously the stakes are higher when it's like a 7-card box, and
What's the price of that Immaculate? What was the price?
It's about 2,000 AUD at the moment. I think it might be a little bit more. I haven't looked at it recently, but it's about that. It's you got to think about what are you chasing in these products if you were to go for it, and what are the rookies, and this is a rookie class that is quite light on. So I mean, like it was okay. I wouldn't.
How's the vet hits that they've got in there? Brought back older players. Do you think there's room to improve for that in future releases to bring back other, obviously retired players that they haven't had before in some of these sets?
Yeah, look, there's a huge opportunity of stacking these boxes with historic players, which they are not doing at the moment. They're stacking them with Mexico and US autos at the moment, and it looks like they're playing to a certain demographic. Let's just say what it is. Every box you hit, it's at least one Mexico, one US card. It's ridiculous, right? They could be going to some of the greatest players and really stacking this. They could be going to Ronaldo. They could be going to Ronaldinho. They could be going to so many fantastic players. The way that they did with Nobility back in the day, every single freaking hit, you can't even find that bloody box anymore. It's so hard to come by because it was so well done. Doesn't need to be on-card autos like that was. So obviously, you'd love it if you're spending that amount of money on a box. But to see those types of players, those caliber players coming to this set, there just isn't enough. And that would really make that box well worthwhile.
Yep. That's the feeling that I get. That's why I asked that question, because I'm like, I mean, how many times I've spoken about it, like everyone wants to go into the rookies. Don't get me wrong. I put a bit of money into younger guys and it's all fun. And especially if there's guys, like Saka killing it and he plays for your team and he's a youngster. So of course you want to try and collect these cards because you tune in and get up for us, for me, get up at stupid hours to watch his game. So, it's exciting to see him, banging goals in. But there's so much opportunity because, as I said, I a bit of I've watched football for a long time, obviously, pretty much all my life. Watched soccer. I started following Arsenal in year 2000. So there we are, 20, been watching for 22 years, soccer, football. And, you see some great players. And I just think there's so much opportunity to get some of those older, vets in there that you don't see much. And I think it would, as you said, it would just really elevate the box. I mean, and who knows, mate? There might not even be 2,000 if they had some of those guys in there. These boxes could be 4,000.
But I do kind of understand why they kind of focus on US and America. Like it is unlike NFL and basketball. It's a logistical nightmare to try to get Beckenbauer and then Ronaldinho in another country. Then you've got Zidane. Like it's very difficult. Like as much as we slam these companies, I would just imagine how fucking hard it would be to collate all of these autos around the world. So I do kind of understand, but at the same time, the facts are the facts. It's going to improve the product that much, and then they sell for more. Like you just said, like they'd be able to sell it for, I don't know, $4,000 if it's going to be a product that's going to be that sought after.
What about this from James? No Liverpool autos, he says, in immaculate or prism. He's not happy about it. He wanted to get into some breaks, but I mean, he wants some Liverpool autos and none in there. How can you not have them? One of them, probably the most, I would say, in the top 5 world follow teams. I mean, they came to the MCG and they got 100,000 at the stadium at an exhibition game against the A-League All-Stars or whatever, whoever they played against.
Yeah. But the autos in Prism are absolutely shit, right? Like if you're opening Prism this year for the autos, you are going to be in for a bloody ride because they're just not there across all teams. Like the amount of crap autos that we've pulled, like we've done 3 cases of Prism and there's been maybe one good auto. It was like in a Boomerang or something like that. Like it wasn't any. Honestly, it's pretty shit auto. If you're a Liverpool fan, I'd be going for like Smith Rowe. What do you call it? Like the Color Blast Salah in there. There's some really good cards, but no, the autos. If that's what you're looking for, Prism, forget about it because it's just shocking.
Yeah, they really relied on the variants and the numbered cards.
Yeah,
in Prism.
Yeah. I mean, there's good ones. Like they've actually done pretty good job with the design of this Prism set. In all honesty,
Yep, I don't mind it. I think it looks good.
The cracked ice are sick. Really nice cards. Even just like the base variants, like the pink is really nice. So they've done a pretty good job with the variants and design. How sought after they're going to be in a few years' time, like a vet numbered card, I'm not sure. But certainly I think the Ronaldo numbered cards are going to be killer later on down the track. I know an of 10 Ronaldo went for like, in Aussie actually sold it for $8,888 recently in one of the recent breaks. So that they sell for a lot of money. But how they're going to go long term, I'm not sure.
Yeah, interesting. Look, Prism, Panini's gonna that's their number one brand. They're gonna release it out. We can only talk about it and see. I mean, that's the sort of thing that I look at. In terms of if you got to look at when you look at a product. I mean, if you're just going in there blind without looking at the checklist and knowing what sort of things that you want to collect that might be within that set, it's probably not the best collecting theory or way to go about whatever collection you want to accumulate out of that set or player or team or whatever it may be, right? You definitely, we always advise suss out the checklist, make sure you're checking that stuff, maybe watch a couple case breaks on release day, check out, sort of how the cards are coming out, QC issues if you want to be grading some of the variants and stuff you get out of it, suss it out, and then make your decision. Don't just jump in there. But as we all know, it does get a bit exciting when a bit of new product drops. So, look, I don't blame anyone jumping in. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I did jump in, not an AFL break when the new product dropped. So, we're all prone to it.
I was going to say, if you jumped in a Prism one and you didn't join in ours,
yeah. Oh, mate, I told you, mate. Lukey tried to entice me with the half case, and I have to give up my left leg to get Arsenal to break, mate. With
Arsenal are the one to get, man. I know. Martinelli, Jesus.
I know. So yeah, look, it's a tough one when you've got the one of the best rookies in the product. It's definitely going to be tough. Vincent never has much to say, but all I know is Vincent is the number one vintage guy. Maybe he can talk about Vincent before we move on, because I mean, I don't know if you have any opinions on any recent products, if you've had a look at it. Thoughts?
Yeah, I've actually someone from Belgium messaged me that we were able to get Score, the new Score release on the Panini website. Yeah, so that I pre-ordered some of that stuff. As you said, I took a look at the checklists, and there's some really nice inserts in there. I'm not sure if you've seen the intergalactic insert, but they look amazing. And there's some nice players in there. Obviously, they have Raspadori in there, so I'm still looking at him. So I'm let's hope I can pull that one of those. And some nice autos. I think it was. They have Beckham in there. They have who was it again? Kaka in there. So there's some nice cards to Figo. There's a bunch load of players I would love to get. So yeah, I've pre-ordered some of those as a modern, just fun rip. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
how much were they?
I've said for the price, it's pretty decent, for how much you pay.
Yeah, so I paid €60 for a retail box. So that's 20 packets of 10 cards, so it's okay. And there's also a chance of an auto, and you have the fat pad pack box, and those were €72 a box.
So there's a chance at an auto. It's not guaranteed.
Only in the retail, not in the fat pack.
Okay.
Gotcha. But then again,
it'd probably be like
at that price point
boxes or something. It's pretty cheap.
It averages two autos every case, so that's 10 boxes. So the chance of me pulling an auto in one retail box is pretty low.
I mean, I did just say 1 in 5 boxes, and then you just literally said that. And that was like a punt in the dark at it. But
I'm probably gonna order some more retail boxes. Though.
I guess that's how they sort of get the product. Oh, you could get an auto, but like at the same time, you don't get an auto. It's all right because you literally, in terms of Australian dollar, I think that's about $100 you're paying for that box.
Yeah.
In terms of ripping product, opening product these days, you're not getting much for $100, mate. You really aren't. So, it's in terms of product to open at that price. So it is a fun rip. I did watch a guy open a box or two on YouTube. And I did see some of the cards that they do look all right. So why not? Why not?
Especially because it's like one of the first times I can actually buy boxes. That's one, and it's actually a official license. Like it's Panini. Like I cannot remember the last time. Donruss 2018. I think that was the last time I was able to buy something decent for under 100. So I'm not much of a of a box guy anyway. But it looked cool. So let's see what happens.
I like it. All right. We are going to move into a bit of Champions League talk. What we're going to do, we're going to look at the Europa League draw quickly because this is the one no one really cares about that much. So we will have a look at how that
Barcelona's
is
in it
going.
still.
Barcelona's in there. No one cares.
Barcelona is still in there. So we obviously got the draw. You got Leipzig against Atalanta. That will be a cracking match. I expect plenty of goals in this one. I did watch the Leverkusen versus Atalanta game, and I'll tell you what, it was a cracking game. That was obviously, I think that might have been the game or the game after Florian Wirtz did do his ACL. So I don't know if you caught that. Unfortunate, but for the people out there who do believe in him, this is the opportunity, when he's obviously going to be out for 12 months, follow his cards, check him out, and maybe you might be able to pick him up because they were going for crazy prices. They were, for what he's achieved, they were going for really crazy prices. So hopefully they come down and if you want to get him, you can pick him up for a bargain. You got Frankfurt against Barcelona, and then West Ham against Lyon, and Braga versus Rangers. Quick tip, who do you think's going through, Leipzig or Atalanta?
I'm going to go Atalanta.
Leipzig.
I'm going Atalanta as well. Frankfurt or Barcelona?
I have to go Barca.
Yeah, got to go Barca. They've started banging in goals even in the La Liga, obviously with Aubameyang there now. And funny enough, Aubameyang and Dembele linking up, and what do you know? Dembele is playing very well with his old partner from Dortmund. West Ham versus Lyon. Who's going through?
I'm going to pick West Ham. I actually really like West Ham, and Lyon are shit this season.
West Ham.
Yeah.
West Ham, of course, I'm going to go with West Ham. They got my boy Mikel Antonio, so can't go against them. Braga against Rangers. Rangers have been a surprise packet in this competition. I will tell you what, and they play some exciting football. They play some exciting attacking football. Who's going through?
I know nothing.
I think this is a toss of the coin. This is going to toss of the coin. I'm going to go Rangers personally.
Yeah, I'm going Rangers as well.
Sure, Rangers.
Rangers. All right. Now,
I don't really give a shit about that.
That's the minor stuff. James Manns reckons Barca might need to win a fourth in the league and might need to win Europa. They might miss out. There's still a few games in La Liga. I think they can still lock up a spot. All right, Champions League. Now, this is the draw. Obviously, we've got Chelsea against Real Madrid. That's going to be a cracker. Man City against Atletico. That's going to be a cracker as well. Villarreal against Bayern. I don't know, but at the same time, Villarreal, they were very, good defensively against Juve. So, maybe they can pull up another upset over Bayern. I don't know. Benfica against Liverpool, I think this is going to be an absolute rout, but Liverpool needs to not take them lightly. We will start with obviously having a chat about, before we go through these games, having a chat about what happened in the previous rounds, or in the previous round. You obviously you had Messi being bundled out, Mbappe, Neymar, PSG gone, Atletico, in typical Atletico style. Is that who they versed? I believe it was. Yeah. It was, Simeone and Atletico of old. I mean, I thought it was Diego Godin and what's his name back there. I was watching the same team. I was going, what's going on here? It's flashbacks. It was phenomenal. In that first game, PSG, you thought, all right, they're going to come here and then they're going to, they're going to put the game away, and not for anything, they looked the better side in the first half, and they probably should have had another goal. They didn't.
One disallowed, I think.
Yeah, one disallowed, yes. And, Mbappe, I don't know why he went offside on that occasion. Probably shouldn't have. But at the same time, for me, Mbappe was the best player on the team. He was the guy who literally looked so dangerous every time he got the ball. Can't say the same. I mean, Neymar was very good as well. Can't say the same about Messi. Messi was, good in flashes, but, from what we know Messi can do, he was, I would say, at about 20% of his, phenomenal best. And it wasn't enough. They went missing in the second half. I'm not sure if you caught the game or caught the highlights, extended highlights. They literally went. They went missing. They were controlling the ball in the first half, passing it around really nicely, and then in the second half, when the pressure got on, Atletico started to press up the pitch a bit more, put the pressure on. They started to make mistakes. They weren't cool under pressure. They weren't able to pass the ball out of defense. They're hacking it long. It was frantic. From a team that's, a world-class side. They've spent this big money. They've got all these, gun players. And then to see they're like a third division Sunday side in the last, 10 minutes try to defend a 1-goal lead at one point when the Atletico pressure was on. It was unbelievable.
PSG did play Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. That's where we go. That's what I thought. Right?
Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah.
I cooked that one at Real Madrid. That's what I thought. I didn't think I was right. I was like, Real Madrid against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Modric was phenomenal in that game, mind you. I am going to say that. That's right. They were phenomenal in that game.
Yeah. Again, I didn't think that Real Madrid was able to push back until Donnarumma did something. I don't know what he was thinking. What all kick-started the whole mess, but that's what happens when you have all these players, a lot of money, confidence, thinking that they will play a Ligue 1 team every single game, and then you start doing something like that. I think Navas was eating his boot. I don't know, yeah, it's crazy. As you said, you just don't buy a winning Champions League team. It doesn't happen. And Real Madrid showed it. Like one guy, Benzema, this guy, I don't know. I just love him so much. I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad again PSG is out. I'm glad because people always question me when I say PSG is not going to win it this season. PSG is not going to win it this season, and every single time they say, yeah, they will. They have Messi now. Last time they had Mbappe and Neymar. Now they have Messi. Every single season I say they're not going to win it. They're not winning it. And they will not win it for the next 5 years. So
Mbappe is going to Real Madrid next year. So Real's going to get even stronger.
Yeah. And definitely agree about Benzema. He's an unbelievable striker who definitely doesn't get enough love in the hobby, who have a very, very love-hate relationship with strikers. If you're a young striker, yes, but if you're an established striker, Lewandowski and Benzema, but you're not. It turns me off at times. In all honesty, the way that it is, it's very frustrating to see. But Benzema is an unbelievable player. And that the whole Real Madrid side, it's essentially mentality. It's mentality that lost PSG that game, and mentality of never give up that won Real Madrid that game. I know it's pretty cliche, but they were fighting to the end, and they seemed to get it over the line, and it seemed like they wanted it more, in all honesty. When things don't go PSG's way, they don't have enough like tactical nous to be able to change the way that they do things. I didn't see much at all. I saw decisions made late by Pochettino. And to be honest, they haven't been playing that well in Ligue 1 anyway. Like they lost to Nice recently. I watched a bit of that game. They were pretty poor. I know that they're 15 points in front, so they probably don't. They can take the foot off the gas. I get it, but I think a lot of that plays into this. They don't get their punches thrown in the league, and then when they get punched a few times in the face, they don't know how to react. I think that's pretty evident here. If the Galacticos couldn't do it in La Liga, then what's to think that PSG would be able to do it? And they can't keep hold of their best players anyway. At the end of the day, I get the money, but I think it all comes out in the wash eventually. You look at a Liverpool side who've built that side over a long time. That's the way to build a side. You've got brilliant players in there, but that's the way. It doesn't just happen quickly.
Yeah, there's no soul in this PSG team. It's just a bunch of players put together, hoping that they will win something. And it works in Liga, as you said. It works. They 15 points clear They lose now and again, but that also reflects in their performances on the bigger stages. As you said, if they come behind or if it's not going their way, if they're not 5-0 up at halftime, they're stressing, and then they start doing stuff like Donnarumma. Then they go crazy, and they have no way how to react because they're rarely in that situation. And in Liga, they don't really care. Like losing one game, sure, we still have 15 points in the bag, and that's why they're not going to win this competition. They were close against, was it 1 or 2 seasons ago, where they played the final against Bayern Munich, but even that 1-0 didn't represent the game. It could have been 3-0. So that's I think it just lacks soul. I think that's the best way for me to describe this PSG team. A lot of great players, but no soul.
Yep. And you definitely need soul to win Champions League. And we can all agree that that Spanish air on a Wednesday night in Real, in Madrid, boy, oh boy, it's something special. Because when watching that game live, I jacked up the sound. You know, when the crowd, when they got that goal back, the crowd just got behind them. It was phenomenal. To see that comeback, it was, it gave me goosebumps. It was a bit of a bit like that situations of when Barcelona came back. I think they did it on PSG. I think it might have been a few years back, and it was unbelievable. They were down and they came back at home. So, it wasn't that to that magnitude, but it was just the way that the crowd lifted was unbelievable. All right,
I was
moving on.
Screaming at my television, man. I was screaming.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Awesome.
All right, moving on, gents. Obviously, we had Atletico. We'll brush over this one as quick as we can. I mean, we had Benfica defeating Ajax and going through. That was a bit of a surprise, but Benfica, Ajax, probably pretty evenly matched teams. You had Chelsea getting the job done over Lille. That was pretty comfortable. We expected that. Atletico, obviously, I wouldn't say upset United. I think Atletico's probably been better team this season, look more cohesive. That they had a bit of issues early, but teams like Simeone has really steadied that ship. They're playing as a cohesive unit, and I mean, as I said, they looked unbelievable defensively. Did any of you catch this game? The second of the two games where we seen United. They were very, very good in the first 40 minutes and probably should have had a goal, and then got hit with the sucker punch, and then really, really lacked creativity going forward. And the fact that he took off Bruno Fernandes at the 70th minute when you need a goal, that to me, I was going, not only have United, the players lost it, but the coaches lost it. You're taking off one of your most creative players when you need a goal to get back in the game, the 70th minute. Like, I don't know. Your thoughts, gents?
Yeah, I mean, I hoped Atletico was going to go out because they will continue to play this way, and it seems to work. I hate this. I hate to watch these games because it's depressing to watch, especially against a team like Manchester, because they were, as you said, the first 40 minutes they were really going for it. They wanted it, and then they get hit on the break, or what was it? Like Lodi scored, I think, just before halftime, and you just know that the next 45 minutes you're watching is just 11 men behind the ball and kicking it forward to score maybe that one more goal. And they had it, but I think it was disallowed, so that would have been a 2-0. But it's just 45 minutes of eye torturing. It's insane. And then, as you said, he took out, what was it? Fernandes. He took out, I think, Elanga, who was like, he wanted it. Fred, who was exciting to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I think that was one of his best performances I've watched in a long time because he now had McTominay to cover for him. Never thought that would come out of my mouth. That Fred was exciting to watch. But yeah, I mean, I hate Atletico is going through. We just knew it's gonna happen, that they're gonna play this way, and it works. So I hate them for it, but kudos to them because they keep make it happen. So let's hope they go out this round.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say. Man United deserve to lose that game. They're shit. They got the shittest defense I've seen in a very, very long time. So to be honest, getting out is probably the best thing that could happen to them, so they can focus on the league, in all honesty, because they have no business being in the Champions League whatsoever, and they may not make it this year as well. So, yeah, that's all I've really got to say this
That's
year.
all he's got
So
to say. Cop that, Rupert United.
That's
all
enough,
he's
man.
got to
That's
say.
enough.
All right. The last game, I'm sure you've got something to say on this one, and that's obviously your boys got bundled out. Juventus. First half, you had chances, probably could have had a goal. You watched the game. I was tuning in to a different game at the time, but what are your thoughts initially? Because I tweeted, because I was watching another game, but I tweeted at that time, halftime. They were in it. It was 0-0, and I was like, at halftime, 0-0, Villarreal are in this. Juventus have left themselves open here. Letting a team go in. If you're at home, you got to try and get that goal before halftime, because that's really that's going to put you up. The momentum's in your favor going into the second half. It sort of crushes their souls, because they've got to come back. But you went in at halftime 0-0, and gave them the confidence, and they played that way in the second half. And I mean, they hit you on the counter absolutely beautifully to get their second goal. Obviously, the penalty, Gerard Moreno in the 78th minute, and then another penalty at the end, which was just really consolation to rub it all in. Initially, your thoughts. We'll go with you, Dan, and then you can fire away.
First half was really, really good. Really exciting football, and I really have no complaints. Sometimes you're just unlucky in football, and it just doesn't go in the back of the net, and you do everything you can to do it, and it just doesn't happen. Unlucky, like you said, to go in the first half, giving the other team a chance, and then from there, we let in a ridiculous penalty happen. He's tackling him from behind and to the side. That was never going to end up well. You're better off just letting him be a one-on-one with the keeper and hope for the best, rather than letting him have a penalty. I don't know where the brain was there for Rugani, but that's Juventus at the moment have a very poor defense. We've got a lot of players out, no Chiellini or Bonucci. Our midfield is horrendous. We've got Arthur in the centre. He doesn't do anything but pass the ball sideways. Up forward, we've lost Chiesa, we've lost Bernardeschi. Dybala, if we see him on the pitch, it's a miracle. And even then, we had a really good goal of it. Morata's really good going on the left-hand side, in all honesty. He does well not being the central striker and takes the pressure off. But at the end of the day, we're just not good enough a team. And Allegri's style of play is, to be honest, past world football at this stage. He is kind of stuck in his ways and defensive mindset, and made moves way too late. He made the move to put Dybala on so late in that game, and by then the other team's got the away goal, and then it's very, very tough from that point. So look, we deserve to go out as well. At the end of the day, like, if you lose, you're out. But we were unlucky. They had 3 shots on goal, 3 goals. Like, it's one of those games. At the end of the day, it is what it is. He didn't destroy. Gekilu or whatever his name is. Definitely didn't destroy Juventus, I would say. Like I said, it was 3 shots on goal, 3 goals. I don't think that's a destruction, but it's taking your chances. It is what it is.
Yeah, you blokes had 14 shots. 2 big chances here, and didn't capitalize on any of those. So that's that's sometimes world football, isn't it? Vincent, did you catch much?
No, I only saw the second half of this game. So by then
one.
it was that was the best part. Most goals. I was a bit surprised though, because when I think about Juventus, I always think about these 1-0, 1-1 games in favor of Juventus most of the time. But I think they'll just lack creativity as well. A lot of players out. As Dan just said, like, if you bring on Dybala 78th minute, I think that's already too late. So I only saw I think from the goal on, I think it was 1-0 when I put it on, and then they just scored a penalty. So it's sad to see, because Juventus, I mean, with Vlahovic now there, you expect them to I just want them to see progress, because you want to see him on the bigger stages. And now they're out. So
Something to
Wait till
build
next
around,
season.
though. And
Wait till
obviously,
next season.
you mentioned,
Yeah.
Dan, that, a bit of an aging defense there. Probably need to, get some younger legs in there. I
Yeah.
don't know your situation at centre back, whether you've got.
Yeah, look, Tillitz, he's been really, really good this season. He had a shaky start at his time at Juventus, but he's a player that we can definitely build around. But, if you don't have Chiellini or Bonucci there, it's just shocking. We let Demiral go. We let Romero go, who's at Tottenham. I don't know how they let these players go when, you couldn't build the team around it. Like Demiral and Delete in centre backs, unbelievable centre backs, but we let him go to Atalanta. So I don't know. We've got some moves to make. I know we're linked to Rudiger and stuff like that. There's definitely ways to fix this team, but you need to start with the midfield because it is shocking. And to all the Americans, if we let go of McKennie, I could give less of a shit. If we get rid of Arta and probably all of the defense, all the midfield, maybe Locatelli you would keep and change it all back. If we're able to get Pogba on the free, then that's a start. Pogba, Locatelli, and you have someone who's creative. Probably going to have to let Dybala go, in all honesty, and we see where we end up. But it's a good start. It's a good thing to build off. Positive.
Yeah, one last thing about Dybala, as Hakilu or whatever you pronounce it says, it's always something with Dybala. It's like it's not like he's been out for 8 games, comes back and then just keeps on playing. It's like 2 games, muscular problems, muscle problems, thigh problems, hip flexor. It's always something that keeps him out of playing 6-7 games, like a Pulisic type of thing beforehand, like last couple of seasons. Like he was never 7 games in a row. It's like 2 games, goes out for 2, comes back for 3, goes out for 2. So it's really hard for these guys to find rhythm then. And then if you have to perform in big games, and you only get 12 minutes or 22 minutes, yeah, it's very hard.
Juventus isn't like Man City where you can eat a 12 million a year wage. That weighs heavily on the team. And if you can't get on the field, as much as I absolutely love and adore Dybala because he's had some magnificent performances for Juventus. At the end of the day, we need him to play. Like, I don't know what more you want, mate. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, enough on that. We're going to move on. We're going to give our quick tips and thoughts on this, and then we're going to wrap up the show. It's been a good show back. I'll bring this up. We got Chelsea versus Real Madrid. Obviously, Vincent, we know who you're going to go for. I think this is probably there for tie of the round. I think Man City and Atletico will be good, but I think, obviously Atletico is going to try to do that same game style. But Chelsea, Real Madrid, Vincent.
I think it's going to go for Real.
Oh, there he goes. He's going against these boys. Why are you just not confident, not playing well at the moment?
I think Real does still have the players with a lot of experience in this competition. Depending on Benzema, of course, because he's out for La Clásico or El Clásico. But this game it's far away.
Is Lukaku still injured?
I think he played, but you never know. Is he gonna play? And if he plays, what he's gonna do? I'm just gonna go for. I have a feeling Real is gonna get this one. Dan,
I think Real as well. I don't know. It just seems to be a lot of turmoil at Chelsea at the moment, and it just doesn't seem like they'd be able to get it over the line. Just in general in their play, they're not like demolishing teams recently. Anyway, I don't know. I don't see enough from them to say that they're going to beat Real, and not that Real's an unbelievable side, but they seem to be a good collective. So we'll see. I'll go with Real there.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I think I'm with you guys, but just for the sake of the podcast, I'm gonna go with Chelsea. All right.
Good.
Man City versus Atletico. We're gonna see. We know what we're seeing for Atletico. We're not gonna see from City. We're gonna see that Atletico park the bus, try catch them on the counter. Put in a dog's effort. If they can get away with this first leg away, down by a goal, I think that's, a very, very good effort. If they come away with this with a draw, that would be unbelievable. If I'm Man City, I'm wanting to literally put 3 past them. You know, I want to be up by 3 goals. I do not want to be going back to Madrid only up 1 goal. That is danger signs for sure. So what is your tip, gents?
City. I just want Atletico out of there.
Yeah, I'll go City as well. I think that'll be too powerful.
Yeah, I'm going to go City. Look, obviously a different beast. The other club in Manchester, they are much more fluent in their ball movement. They actually move the ball really, really quick. Unlike United, it looks like you're watching a snail try to pass the ball around the pitch, the way that they move it around. So, I think they'll just have too much firepower in the end. Villarreal, Bayern Munich, I think, although Villarreal did well, I'm just going to say Bayern, I think they are just too strong. And, in terms of, this is why I don't have any sympathy for a PSG. I mean, let's be honest, right? The Bundesliga is pretty much on par with Ligue 1 in terms of the way that Bayern dominates that league and PSG dominates that league and just kills them, ends up being 10 points in front. I think it's a bit closer this season, but they'll end up, winning.
Mm-hmm.
And they've pretty much won, 7 in a row. But they come to Champions League and they realize that you got to elevate your game at this level, and they've done it consistently, and they've won Champions Leagues. Why can a team like Bayern Munich do it, but a team like PSG can't do it? I just that's why I don't have any sort of sympathy to say PSG towards them. They should be doing better with that squad. They should be making a final at least, in my opinion. Or it's so,
Firstly, I mean, Bundesliga is head and shoulders above Ligue 1, firstly. And secondly, that Bayern Munich team is a team that adds pieces every year and grows like that and doesn't just inundate themselves with, 5 players and expect to win the Champions League. This is a machine that is well oiled and serviced on a regular basis, and is quite brutal in the way that it approaches things and gets rid of players like Alaba that see helping them long term in favour of others, and they do it for what's best for the team. That's a distinct difference between them and PSG. The way that they go about it is the way that you win Champions Leagues and be competitive time and time again. And they'll smash Villarreal, in honesty. And Villarreal's a great team, but there'll be no match. And I'm kind of happy that Juventus didn't go through, because we would have had to play Bayern.
Yeah, that would have been tough. All right, Benfica, Liverpool. I think we're all, going to say Liverpool should be far too strong for Benfica. All right, fellas, thank you very much for jumping on for a episode to kick off Soccer Card Collective for 2022. Hopefully we can get the band back together some point in the near future and do one of these again. Maybe could be after the 2 rounds of the Champions League. We might get back on and have a little half an hour episode and just give our thoughts and opinions on what has transpired. We do hope to, keep this train rolling a little bit so we can get some momentum going into obviously the World Cup later this year, where we hope to bring a bit more regular content around this show, obviously with a big World Cup ready and roaring to go. So without further ado, thank you very much, ladies and gents, for tuning in. Thank you to anyone who was in the comments. Appreciate y'all, and peace out. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Soccer Card Collective on the Double Coverage Media Network. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to know when we go live. Also, feel free to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time. Peace.